Hi, welcome back to my channel. Skipped a week, don't judge. So I just came back from NOLA. Ow! If you don't know me, my name's Aquarius Moon. So I just got back from New Orleans last week and a bug took me out, y'all. A bug took me out. I was going to upload last week. I was down for 48 hours, but I'm back. And I'm here to give you a travel guide to the wonderful city of New Orleans. So I went to New Orleans in January for the first time and I literally flew in and out. I had an 8-hour delay because it was snowing in the District of Columbia. I was going down there for Teaser Festival, which is one of my favorite burlesque festivals that happens in New Orleans. And it was kind of like the first time I went to a festival and I literally was gawking. The headliners, the costumes, the acts. I mean, hey, on the little Ariel, Diamonds Are Girls, but it changed my life, honestly. But that flight also changed my life because I thought I was gonna die. So went to NOLA the first time. I didn't have time to like explore the cities. I didn't even have a beignet, okay? Like I was like, show, another show, another show, another show. It was like 8 shows. I don't know what it was, but it was entirely too many shows for me to do anything touristy. So basically I didn't do anything touristy. I mean, let's fast forward to last week, okay? The thing about people from New Orleans is like, they really have a mix of like Southern hospitality, okay? Everybody can cook. Everybody can cook. Everybody knows how to be a good host. And for the most part, people are kind of like taking their time going places. Like it wasn't really a rush, but let's get into the time of year I went. So I went about a week or two ago. So I went mid-November. Weather was sensational, highly recommend. So when I was asking the locals, they were saying that other than Mardi Gras, like the best time to go to NOLA is in the late fall, early winter, because literally a week before I had been there, it was like 85, 90 degrees and people said it was miserable. So it was perfect. It was like 70s in the evening. During the day, it was awesome. Like you didn't need a jacket. Highly recommend. But because the weather was so great, ciao. Bourbon Street was ratchet. Bourbon Street was too bad. I was like, if this is how Bourbon Street is right now, Mardi Gras is out. I plan on going to Mardi Gras in 2025, but then I found out this trip that Mardi Gras is right before the Super Bowl or right after. One of the two. Point is, too many people for me. Okay, let's get into the touristy things I did. Okay, so as soon as I chopped down, I was out on Bourbon Street. I like had an evening flight and usually I fly in the morning. Travel tip, always fly first thing in the morning, especially if you fly Southwest, because this is when the pilots are starting the day and this is you have the least likelihood of being delayed. Got a evening flight, wasn't delayed, thank God, but the turbulence was a little much for me, honey. Also, don't mind my makeup. I just had a photo shoot with one of my favorite photographers, Lee, and I'll have some new prints for y'all for this holiday season coming out in a few weeks. So check out my website for those. I told you I wasn't going to try to sell you anything, but like this one will be. Few things. Number one, you don't need to be wearing no flip-flops or open-toed shoes on Bourbon Street. Bring sneakers, honey. Your feet are going to be disgusting. The next day, I want to shop. I want to shop, I want to eat. Made sure I got something that I get every time I travel. And if you don't know, every time I travel, I'm looking for a latte, a taco, some type of Black African seasoned food, okay? I'll take Mexican, I will take any type of Latin American food. And then I'm always looking for fresh pressed juice, ginger shots, anything to get my immune system up. I noticed that it was really hard for me to find healthy food, aka a green fresh pressed juice was really hard for me to find. Now, a few days into the trip, I ended up finding some juice places and I was lucky enough at the place I was staying, there was a beautiful coffee shop right next door. So, you know, I was in there and I paid a little $7 for the latte. It was worth it. Okay, I was on vacay. Work vacay. I did a lot of walking. Do not forget your walking shoes. You do not want to be walking around New Orleans in flip-flops. You don't want to be that girl. You don't. Now, because I went during high season or one of the high seasons of the year, it was like bachelorette party paradise. And I'm getting married next year. And I'm currently planning the bachelorette party. I'm going to bring on my bachelorette girls. What are they called? Bridesmaids. Can you tell I'm not really an active planning bride? So anyway, I was going to take them to New Orleans after this trip. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this would be cute? I want to go because basically everybody in my bridal party is my family, and most of my family hasn't gone to New Orleans. So I was like, okay, this would be cute. A girl's like a cousin, sister thing. The brides was drunk. They were shoeless like we were back in college. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. At all. Put your shoes on, mama. Put your shoes on. But it was cute. It was cute to see like all the like different bridal parties. You could tell when like there were a lot of weddings happening. So huge wedding destination. I can see why. Like if you get a Q hotel, there's plenty of things for people to do. So I saw that a lot on my walks. Every day I basically walked around the city. Definitely got into some trouble when it comes to the shopping. Okay, shopping the vintage. Now, I have an amazing stylist, and she's really taught me how to identify like what's vintage and what's fake vintage. Like there's a lot of real vintage in NOLA. A little pricey, but then if you really walk around, you can find some incredible stores with some really awesome deals. Especially when you get like further away from the busy areas where all the tourists are. But for the most part, they were a little pricey, like a lot of the dresses. Well, you know, y'all know what I like. I like ostrich, I like rhinestones. I like things that cost lots of money because they take lots of time and material. So I ended up going to Trixie Minx's, which was one of the producers that was having me in town for the weekend. I ended up going to her burlesque boutique, which is so cute, highly recommend. And I got a dress. I got a dress that I actually shot today. Gorgeous, vintage, got it. Immediately, didn't even think about it. Also got a gorgeous vintage dress that I'll be wearing for one of my engagement shoots in the spring. Hand beaded, absolutely divine, from India. I mean, just sitting on the rack. And actually it was like sitting on this 60% off rack, and I was like, is this supposed to be here? The girl was like, I don't know. Did you find it on that rack? And I was like, yeah, hand to God. I found it on the rack. It said 60% off. She was like, well, then it's yours. Looked up that SKU online. Okay, I'll show you guys that dress when I shoot it. Vintage is great. Leave room in your suitcase. When I came back, they told me that for $190, if I did not unload 1.5 pounds of weight out of my carry-on, I was gonna get charged. So I ended up taking out my wedding planning book and then leaving it in the bathroom because I'd bought so many things. So leave room in your suitcase to buy things. Things you need to know when you're going to New Orleans. The first thing is the weather's unpredictable. I mean, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot. Bring sunscreen, bring sunglasses, bring a light rain jacket. I was really lucky that most of the time I was there, it didn't rain, but it definitely rained the last day. And I'm glad that I had a rain jacket. I ended up losing it though. But it did the job when I needed it. Another thing, when you are traveling to New Orleans, you are going to need cash, okay? And you need cash for a few reasons. Number one, sometimes the lines are like really long and you don't ever want to be in this line that it's like, I only take cash. Also, I had this like really good po' boy, and at some of the like hole in the wall places that are gonna have you moaning over your food, it was cash only. Okay, so you need some cash. I wouldn't carry very much, and I wouldn't walk late at night by yourself. Okay, it was definitely giving a little sketch in the evenings. And so I made sure I took Ubers. I made sure I was connected with friends. People had my location. And look, like, I live outside of Washington, DC. Everywhere you go, you know, safety is an illusion. But I definitely think, like, as a solo traveler, as a Black woman, it's very important that I am safe and I'm aware and I'm paying attention to my surroundings when I'm traveling by myself. And I was traveling by myself. I was lucky to have friends in the city to escort me around and show me around. But for the most part, like, I was by myself. So it was very, very important that people have my location show. Share that location. Now, I'm a seafood girl. I'm from Merlin, home of the blue crab. I love crabs. So I thought, crawfish, not my thing. Not my thing. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. We had the most amazing like seafood picnic at this beautiful park, and it was so fun. We had a blast. Like, we got gloves. Like, we did it the authentic way, okay? But I wasn't feeling the crawfish. I love the shrimp. I love the potato. I love the corn. The king crab legs. Deceased. Amazing. And then the blue crab was cold, and I don't know, like, I don't know. It was something about the crab. It was something about the crab. I wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it that day, but I had a great time. Enjoyed the pictures. I don't know. Maybe I'll take this down one day. I don't know. When it comes to the food, there are a lot of fried options, and my skin broke out. Like, my skin broke out so bad on this trip. It could have been a combination of things, but definitely one of the things was my diet. I tend to keep a pretty healthy diet, especially because my energy levels are directly correlated with what I'm putting in my body. And yeah, I was just out here eating hush puppies and fried chicken and waffles and mimosas, and I wasn't that kind to my body. And it definitely caught up to me when I came home. I got super sick for like 2 days. I was like sneezing. I was coughing. It was just not cute. It wasn't COVID, but it was something. It was a little bug. So I suggest planning out where you're going to eat in advance, looking at some of the places that are around where you're staying in the city. There are lots of options. I'd stay away from touristy places. If there's somebody outside calling you to come in, don't go in. Shitty food. Let's just get into it, okay? Let's just be honest, okay? It's not ladylike to say, but the food's not probably going to be good, okay? Use Yelp. It's your friend. Google if you have access and abilities to get on the said internet, Beyonce's internet meta, use it, okay? There's no point of paying $50 for a meal that didn't taste good and you're like on vacation or you're just traveling and you're exploring. Like, there are plenty of places to go. Do not go to chain places, please. Just enjoy the city, try something new. You might not like everything, but just try it. The food was bomb. It was just fried, okay? Now, let's get to my nature walks. Okay, so like when I travel, I like to go shopping, I like to eat, I like to get into nature. I had a nice, beautiful walk on one of my mornings overlooking the water. I went to the water twice, actually. I wanted to go on the little like sailboat thing, but I didn't have time. So I highly suggest you do that. I feel like that would be a cute little day trip, especially if you're with people or you want to meet people, have a drink on the boat. Oh, let's talk about the drinking. I will be sharing more about my sobriety, my journey to sobriety in 2025, but I told myself I wanted to not drink as much, but NOLA is not a city friendly to those practicing sobriety. Of course, there were mocktails. There are always mocktail options. You can always get a soda. You can always drink water. No one's forcing you, but so much of the culture in NOLA is partying, drinking, the cigarettes, being outside, the clubs. Like, it's definitely a vibe. It's very Parisian. Like, everybody's smoking a cig. It's very frou-frou. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I felt like I was like in Disney World for adults. Like, I actually prefer NOLA to Vegas right now for where I am in my tax bracket. INDEPENTEND. Do you know what that? All right, let's get back to it. So anyway, point I'm trying to say is NOLA is a party city, okay? Party, party, party. If you are trying to be sober, ask for mocktails. At the really nice places I went, of course, they had amazing mocktails, and then I'm like totally down to have some type of ginger beer concoction. I ended up doing about like 7 shows. Literally, pretty much every show, I had a blast. I knew most of the castmates I was working with, and it was so awesome to see some people I haven't seen in a while, like over a year. Most of the shows were lit. I mean, lit meaning the casts were amazing, the audience were amazing, the money was flowing, and I was treated like a princess. I actually had a very positive experience performing in NOLA, and I performed at all different shows. I was lucky enough to perform a few times, I think 3 times at Always Cabaret. That was like on my vision board 3 years ago, and it was so awesome to like be there multiple times. And I think it's really cool that NOLA is one of the only places in the United States that like has a dedicated like burlesque cabaret queer space for artists to showcase their burlesque, their drag, their comedy, their music. Like, I own just telling me that I'm out of storage, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay, so in New Orleans, what do you need to do if you're going to New Orleans if you're going to be a tourist? A, you need to look at where you're gonna eat before, because there's gonna be a lot of temptations to eat fried food, things that probably are gonna make your skin break out. And there are a lot of places that you could basically get scammed into eating mediocre meals. So look at the restaurants you want to go to before, read the reviews, like get into it. Number 2, get into nature. I did not get a chance to go to their museum that looked sensational. It was actually a beignet festival when I was there, and I didn't have a chance to go, but get into the museum and get into nature. There are some beautiful overlooks of the water, totally free, don't have to spend a dime. Go on some of their paths. They have amazing walkway paths. So save some coin for some shopping. The vintage and the secondhand consignment stores did not disappoint. So I would definitely leave some room to buy some things. And pace yourself. Pace yourself, honey. Pace yourself. You're gonna, maybe you're not there to party. Maybe you're there to go to a monk retreat. So maybe you have different things going on. I don't know. But I definitely wish somebody would have told me to just take it one day at a time, So that's my recap of NOLA. I had some beignets and I ate some in the park. It was great. Liking it. Do you want to see more travel vlogs? Do you want to see more BTS with burlesque, costumes? Get into the comments so I can see what you like, and I'll see you next week. Bye.